And folks, welcome. Only about 6 weeks away now from the beginning of Season 2 of Staten Island FerryHawk Baseball, April 28th. There on Staten Island, we welcome in Charleston for a big opening day. And of course, if you don't know already, you must be on Mars. We've got ourselves a brand new manager, a guy that won a World Series with the New York Yankees, a great player, eventually dealt in the Clemens trade, but a Yankee at heart wearing his ring today, and that is Homer Bush. Homer, good to see you, pal. Congratulations.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So this is your first season as a manager, minor league baseball, after a pretty good MLB career. Are you excited? Are you nervous? A little bit of both?
A little bit of both. But once the season get going, and the day-to-day operations take over, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, you've been on the show with me a couple of times, Sid and Friends in the Morning here on Talk Radio 77 WABC, and I've kind of joked about John Catsimatidis, the owner, comparing him to George Steinbrenner. But when you were winning a World Series with the Yankees, you had Joe Torre as the manager, Hall of Famer, 4 World Series wins. Steinbrenner was still alive. George, back then in the late 1990s, early 2000s. So you were really part of the perfect team from top to bottom, right?
Yes, sir. Well, the main goal was to win. And then, when I left the Yankees, I could feel the difference.
Really?
Yeah. Once, when you're with the Yankees, the goal is to win. They build the teams to win. So, there was no time for development. You had a role, and you just focused on that role, and the outcome was amazing. I
mean, you went to Toronto, and they won 2 World Series with Cito Gaston years before. But when you get to Toronto, it's Maple Leafs first. Yeah. Everybody else lines up way behind. Here in New York, even with all the great Jets and Giants and Mets and Knicks and Rangers, it's Yankees first. It's baseball first. Same thing on Staten Island. It's baseball first.
Yes, and I'm excited to be a part of that. I can feel that as well. And the similarity between Mr. Steinbrenner and Mr. Catsimatidis is that they want to win.
Yeah.
And if we just put all our energy and efforts and resources with that state of mind, and I think we'll win.
Catsimatidis was actually on with us on the radio earlier this morning, and he said, I expect, not I want, not I hope, I expect to win a World Series. But again, talking about your stay with the Yankees, we don't talk about playoffs. In New York, we talk about World Series. Anything less is a bit of a disappointment. So when you heard that, there was no pressure because you're used to that, right?
Correct. No pressure at all. As a matter of fact, that should be the goal. And I truly believe that that's the goal with most teams, but they're afraid to speak it.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to speak it. I'm not afraid to talk about winning, because I don't know how to do the percentage thing. Well, right?
Yeah,
like we win 70 games or 80 games. I just don't know how that works. I'm looking to win 126 games. I know I'm going to fall short of that goal, but hopefully the championship is the cherry on top.
There he is, the manager of the Staten Island FerryHawks in his first season. Great shape, by the way. Look like $1 million. Homer Bush. Let's talk about the team. I don't know if every rabid baseball fan knows the makeup of a minor league team. I'm going to guess that it's the same type of thing, 5-man rotation. You got a closer. Is it basically built the same way as a big league club?
Yes, it is. It's the best example is look at it from a pitching perspective. You want your start. You have your 5 starters, your 8 relievers, and you want your starter to go 5 innings. You want a 6-inning guy, 7-inning guy, 8-inning guy, and you want a closer.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I mean, when you were with the Yankees, you had Nelson, you had Stanton, you had Mariano, you had Rutland for 1 year. So you plan to carry then about 13 pitchers.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the goal.
And 13. And then how many offensive players do you carry on the team?
Another 13. We get 26.
26 players overall. And I know there are 2 kids in particular. Got a lot of press the last couple of days. One is my friend Pat Russo, part of New York's finest. His nephew, big lefty pitcher out of Severian High School, and an outfielder by the name of Mikey Edelman out of Roosevelt High School. These are 2 kids you're very excited about.
I am. Both of them are New Yorkers. The thing that excites me the most about these 2 young players, they're extremely passionate about where they are in their processes. They were both late bloomers. They've continued to learn the game, learn about what it is they need to do to be successful. They've worked hard at that craft, so I felt like they deserved the chance. And I think they're going to have a huge part in our success this summer.
Christian Allegretti is the pitcher. Mike Edelman is the outfielder. Rumors are that maybe as many as 6, maybe 7 of last year's players. Don't forget the second half. We won 33 baseball games. Became a good team, a playoff team in the second half after a very rough beginning. Some of those guys should be back.
Yes. We've signed 2 really key players that we wanted back definitely, and that's Cespedes in center and Aguiar at third. So those
2 good players.
Yeah, 2 big offensive players for us. I'm an offensive guy first, so.
Yeah. Well, you
they
hit
were
like
definitely-
400 for the Yankees that one season when you won the World Series. I mean, you're limited duty, but you hit the crap out of the ball.
No, I tell you what, man, when you only play once every 2 or 3 weeks, man, you have to maximize
You made the
those
most of it.
opportunities,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. No, you know how to hit the baseball. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it. So I could see why you're such an offensive-minded coach. But I remember when I was growing up, St. Louis Cardinal teams. They did a lot of home runs. And one guy, Jack Clark, hit like 40 home runs. Otherwise, they stole bases. Lottie Smith, Kenny Obergefell, those types of guys. And then you had a team, even your Yankee teams. I know Tino had 40 home runs one season, but really a lot of 20 home run guys. Brocious, Bernie, whoever they had on the roster at the time. Is this Staten Island team going to be more about power or speed?
It's going to be more about speed. It's going to be just like the Cardinals teams.
You love,
I grew
you're a
up in the
St. Louis
Midwest.
guy.
That's right, yeah.
You smile them going, you know exactly who Tommy Herr is and Kenny Obergefell. You know
Ozzie
those
Smith
guys.
was my childhood favorite, right? So, no, it's funny you say that because we're going to be a lot like the 80s, the Cardinals in the 80s.
Oh, they were a good team.
But I will say this. We do have 3 or 4 really big bats that we're excited about who hit 20-plus home runs in the league last year or last season wherever they played. So we have a really good mix of talent, and that was our goal because that's how our stadium plays.
Yes.
So when you set a goal like that and you go out through all the competition and you're able to find that talent that you're excited about, and I mean, we're just over the moon with where we are right now with our roster.
And right now, you're too early, I guess. You're putting the team together. I know you have an open tryout 12 days before opening day, April the 16th. Too early to start really scouting other clubs. But are you familiar at this point with some of the teams you have to beat, or you are already?
Yes,
you know what's going on.
Yes. You know, so Eric and I, we are into the data. You know, so we know some teams are going to steal a lot of bases. That's key to their success and pitch well. And then there's just some teams are going to be veterans that just pound the baseball. So we know there's going to be a different strategy when competing against, the top, handful of teams.
And I tell you, you look at the stadium, it's a gorgeous setting. You know that, right there on the water. It was the Yankee Stadium for many, many years. And I know you're still close with guys like Randy Levine, Cash, who's the GM of the Yankees. They brought in former Giant champion Brian Sabian. Yankees have a lot of brilliant baseball minds. And you're tight with all those guys. So we had this discussion on radio. If, in fact, you had a question, an opinion, you've got Eric Scheffler, a great baseball guy, Gary too, but you can take up any one of those guys at any time and get their opinion on any baseball matter. That's a pretty good group of guys to have on your cell phone. Jeter, whoever else you've got.
I agree. I don't like to act like we're best buds and we go to lunch all the time, but I do have a pipeline to those guys. And, if we needed something, they were more than welcome to help.
And I'll tell you, the stadium was packed last year, especially in the second half. Weather was beautiful. Team was winning. Should be a really exciting summer of baseball on Staten Island. I'm really happy you're the manager. You're the perfect guy for this job. You're a winner. You know what you're doing. You love baseball. You smile every time I talk to you. You're so enthusiastic. I wish nothing but all the luck in the world in the World Series championship. And we'll do this again next year, looking for your second straight championship.
I love it. Let's
Sound
do it.
good?
Sounds like a plan.
My man. Homer Bush,
Thanks,
the
Sid.
new manager of the Staten Island FerryHawks. Once again, open tryouts come your way April the 16th. Opening day against Charleston out on Staten Island, April the 28th. Going to be a great summer, folks. Let's go FerryHawks.
Let's go FerryHawks.